Hello, everybody. Welcome into Talking Fitchburg on this Friday. Yeah, it's Friday, July 30th, 2021. I'm Jeremy Karowski. Welcome into Talking Fitchburg. We have a big show, a busy show here for a Friday night. We got to get you updated on the headlines. We're going to talk about a sprinkler system, a new demo system that the Fitchburg Fire Department got through some great grants to demonstrate how home sprinkler systems work in your home. We'll break that down with you in just a moment. And in the guest segment today, we'll check in with the Fitchburg Star on a council recap. So we got to get hauling, as they say. All right. Data snapshot. Cases are increasing rapidly for COVID-19. Here's the latest information. In the 2 weeks, or it says here, cases are increasing rapidly. 2 weeks ago, our 7-day average was roughly 10 cases per day. As of 7/25, the 25th, it was 36.7. Yeah, new research from the CDC this week suggests that vaccinated people can spread COVID-19 to others. So please mask up and stay safe. Mask up when you go indoors, even if you're vaccinated, to protect others. More information is available at the DHS website and, of course, Dane County Public Health. All right, Fitchburg Public Library Youth Services have a lot of events coming up this week, and there is all of the events on your screen. So you got Take Home Tuesday still continuing, fun Friday to go. I love these takeout things. They are so cool. So stop in the library and check in to get the latest on what's going on over there. All right, reminder, Cahill Main intersection is still closed for construction. That construction runs now through Saturday, August 4th. All traffic from Fish Hatchery Road should use High Ridge Trail as they make their way through there, or Cas Bend to access the area businesses. All right, turning your attention to outdoor warning systems. With the recent storms coming through, I want to remind you that outdoor warning system is just that. It's meant for people outdoors. Please note that outdoor warning sirens are meant for people that are outdoors and not those who are sleeping with windows that are closed. So houses have changed. It's harder to hear. So we want to make sure that you have multiple ways to receive warnings. All right, we're going to take a quick break. Coming up next, we open up the digest. We're talking about home sprinkler systems. We get a demo next from our friends of the fire department here on TF.
Hey, boss. Okay.
I said I'm fine.
Me to bed, see you in the morning with the frosted Superman, but it wasn't on it, and we lost it. In my head, in my head, in my head. We were underlay in my head.
Hey, son.
Hey, Bob.
You know you can talk to me.
Yeah.
We're all just trying to keep things running for those who rely on us.
Ready?
That's why we don't have time to be sick with the flu. And especially this year, no one has time to get sick. Get a flu shot for yourself and those around you too.
Welcome back into Talking Fitchburg in our digest. And today we're going to be talking about home sprinkler systems. Yes, you can have them installed in your home. And the fire department has a new demo system to show how easy that is.
Right, so we're standing in front of the NFPA 13D home residential fire sprinkler display. This display was put together through some grants that we received from the National Home Fire Sprinkler Coalition and the NFSA as well. So overall, the display shows us all the different aspects that could be put into your home if you were to put a fire sprinkler in your home. If we start in the bottom here, this is your water supply that would come up from the ground in the basement of your house. And from here, we come up to basically our control valve, which would allow water to flow into the system. So all of this is done after you have your shut-off valves for the home water supply. So you'd have water coming into the control valve. There's a backflow preventer, which basically means water can go one way, but it can't go back into the municipal water supply. Then after that, we have a water flow switch, which is optional. And we also have an inside bell, which is connected to that. So basically, water comes and flows through here. There's a little paddle on the inside of here, As I say, water is moving, it sends a signal to this box and goes up to the bell, and then the bell would ring to say, hey, there's water flowing in your sprinkler system. As we continue on up this riser, we have an inspector's drain valve. It's a test valve, which would drain to the outside of your house. Then we also have a gauge to make sure that the pressure in the system is where it needs to be, that it's not too high or too low. If it's too low, the system may not work as designed. If it's too high, sometimes you can blow the heads out, blow the fusible links out of the heads if there's too much pressure. That's basically all that there is to the functioning part of the system. So home fire sprinklers can be put into both existing homes or brand new construction. The cost is about $1.35 to maybe $2 a square foot to put in a system, depending if it's a retrofit or an existing home or a brand new construction. Obviously in new constructions it's a little bit cheaper because you can put it in as you go. Retrofit, you'll have to do some added work for the plumbers to make this happen. As it is installed, you'll see this, what we call the riser, and then that's like the parts behind the scene, and everything else is right here. So we have 4 different types of heads that are displayed here today. So we have a pendant style sprinkler. So it just drops down. You see these a lot very common in commercial businesses. You also have a concealed pendant sprinkler, which basically it's hidden. And when the heat gets to be a certain degree, this pops off and it drops down, and now you have water that flows out of the system. These two here, the sidewall fire sprinkler and the concealed fire sprinkler sidewall, the concealed ones work the same way. So the heat rises to the temperature, this disc pops off, it pushes out, and then you have water flowing out. This one works just like that. There's a fusible link in there, that red bulb will break, and then it takes the plunger out and water comes out. So in our system here, we do not have water attached to the system. It is a dry system for display purposes. But normally you'd have water in all of these pipes. And water would be coming up to just to the backside of these sprinklers. This little red bulb in here is a fusible link. That bulb is set to burst at a certain temperature. Once the temperature raises to that level, that bulb breaks, and you can see there's a little plunger that's being held in place by that bulb. Once the bulb breaks, the plunger drops out, and then water comes out. That's how a sprinkler works. And it's not like you see it in the movies where you hold a lighter up to it, it breaks, and they all go off. Sprinklers work one sprinkler at a time based on the heat in the area. So these systems do need to be tested annually. It is very inexpensive to have that test done. None of the tests require the sprinklers to be activated in your home. It's all done through this inspector's test valve and drain, so right through here. So anything that's done is that they'll check the pressure before they start, they'll make sure the water flows, that the alarm goes off, and that they have a certain amount of residual pressure in the gauge in the system while it is flowing, because it needs that in order to make sure the heads work appropriately. That's how they test it. So no heads have to be activated in order to test the system. So sometimes you may see people in businesses walking around with a big cup, and you might see them put them over something on the ceiling. They're not testing the sprinklers, they're actually testing the smoke detectors in the building. So it is 2 different things that they're not using that to test sprinklers in the building at that time. One concern that is brought up quite often is, well, what if the sprinkler heads leak? What if the piping leaks? It is very uncommon for any kind of a leak to occur in the system. If there is a leak, it does not take a lot to repair it. However, you as a homeowner cannot repair that. It needs to be done by a licensed professional sprinkler fitter. So they would need to come in and either change out the head, maybe cut a hole in the wall where they need to replace the piping, that kind of thing. But it is very, very uncommon for any leaks to occur. So a lot of people ask, why do I need a sprinkler system? I got smoke alarms, that's good enough. That'll let me know when I need to get out. Well, when you're sleeping, your nose doesn't work. Your nose does not work if you're sleeping. You cannot smell while you are sleeping. Some people have a hard time waking up to the sound of a smoke detector. Because of that, this is just one reason to have a sprinkler system installed in your house. Sprinkler systems like this will put out a fire 90% of the time with one head. The intent of the sprinkler system isn't really to put out the fire, although that's what it does 90% of the time with one head. The intent of the sprinkler system is to allow you more time to get out of the house or out of the building so that you can be safe. Yes, some stuff may be waterlogged when it's said and done after a fire, but I personally would much rather have a bunch of waterlogged stuff and still have that stuff than lose everything in my house. Actually, we do have a recent event that happened in Fitchburg. It doesn't involve a residential home fire sprinkler, like in one or two family homes where this is designed, but it involves a multiple family dwelling, 4 or more. A gentleman had come home, he wanted to cook something on the stove, started to cook something, sat down to wait for it to cook, fell asleep. Next thing he knows, he's waking up to the smoke alarm going off, and the fire sprinkler that was in the kitchen had activated and put the fire out. Yes, there was water all over the floor in his home, but that could have been a completely tragic outcome if it wasn't for the smoke detector and that fire sprinkler. The smoke detector may have alerted him to get out, but there could have still been a fire. But because of the fire sprinklers that were installed in that building, it allowed him to get out. And there wasn't a whole lot of toxic smoke that he was breathing in during that time either. So some of you may want to know, how do I know where to put these sprinklers, or where do they go, or can I change where they go after they're installed? The answer is you don't get a choice on where they're installed. If you want them installed, they go in every room. And that is actually determined by the fire sprinkler designer. They have to meet certain requirements when they put in a system. So one head, for example, let's say the one head is able to cover 120 square feet. So based on the square footage of your home, you have to have a certain number of sprinkler heads that will cover the square footage of your home. There's all sorts of other rules. There are some exceptions as to where they can or cannot go. But that's something that you don't have to worry about. You just need to say, I want these in my home because I want to be protecting myself and my family. Let the professional handle where they're going to go. We really appreciate the grant that we received from the Home Fire Sprinkler Coalition, also through NFSA, the National Fire Sprinkler Association. Our other sponsors up here on top, the Watts, Viking, Potter, these people have all donated all of the materials here to put into this display. Personally, we want to thank Dave Jones from Madison and the Urso brothers out of McFarland. They helped us construct this and put the plumbing together. Without them, this wouldn't have been able to happen as fast as it did. We're very, very thankful for this. And just know that home fire sprinklers save lives and property. 85% of fire deaths happen in the home. Most of those happen at night when people are sleeping. Know that you only have about 2 minutes to get out before smoke and flames engulf the entire room. That's not a lot of time. What we have now for time is almost nothing compared to 30 years ago when we had stuff that was built out of natural fibers. Remember that the fire sprinkler system is the best protection against any kind of a fire. Only the sprinkler that is closest to the fire, to the heat source, will activate, not all of them, just the closest one. And most of the time, the fire sprinklers can contain and extinguish the fire before we ever arrive. Fire sprinklers are like having a firefighter in your home with a hose ready to put out a fire. Normally, it may take us 5 to 7 minutes from the time you find out that there's a fire and we get there. But with sprinklers, they're there right away. It just has to wait till the heat builds up, that the bulb expands, breaks, plunger drops out, and then water is being applied. For more information on any of this, check out the Home Fire Sprinkler Coalition website. You can see it right down here. They've got awesome timelines, all sorts of videos, educational stuff. They have a wealth of information there. Please check them out.
All right, there you have it. You'll be able to check out that at the open house coming up in October. Take a quick break. Coming up next, we check in with our friends at the Fitchburg Star on a council recap next right here on TF.
You could be spreading the coronavirus without realizing you have it. So follow guidance from authorities where you live and do your part. It's important to limit in-person interaction with anyone outside of your immediate household, but phone and video chat are safe ways to connect. It's also important to limit any social gathering. This advice applies to people of any age, including teens and younger adults. Visit coronavirus.gov for the latest information.
Our hearts are made stronger by how we treat others.
Put her there.
The light you share can impact those around you, but so can the darkness.
Later, twerps.
Did Pete saying mean things bother you?
So when you reach out to another person, take a moment to consider how they will feel and let your heart be the key to making a difference. Because of you, someone's entire day, year, or even life can change.
In every heart, there's hope.
Welcome back into Talking Fitchburg. Joining me today for the Fitchburg Star, our super fan. I'm coming up with something different every time. Kimberly, welcome back to the show. How are you doing?
I am doing well. Sick and tired of summer, so that is why I'm drinking out of my Christmas mug today.
Oh, geez, come on. It's been a little warm. A little warm. We just escaped some big storms this week.
No, I'm Christmas in July. Let's go.
And here comes the holiday tree right in the back there. All right. Well, is that cocoa in there then too?
No, it's coffee.
Straight up coffee. All right. Well, cheers from me to you. Perfect timing. We do have our Fitchburg Star update today. A lot to get to here. So no more cheering. Let's get right into this. We'll start with a possible new school to talk about that was talked about this past week.
Absolutely. So St. Ambrose is looking for a new location. So for a while, they've been located at St. Thomas Aquinas. I'm going to butcher that, and the Catholic guilt is going to really rise up here. But so they've been located there for a really long time. And so then the church told them a few years ago that, hey, we're going to need our educational wing back for our own programming. So they've been in the process of looking for a new home. So they have not presented any plans to the city, but Tuesday night they did a comprehensive plan minor amendment to move in, and it's sort of near McGaw Park. It's a really undeveloped area yet that's kind of in the middle of the city, right south of Nobel Drive. So they needed the amendment because they don't actually need all of the space that was kind of reserved in the comp plan amendment. So but yeah, they're looking to be here. They had attempted to find a space in Verona, but that kind of stalled and fell through after alders in Verona said, well, we really like for you to have a different kind of parking situation and share with the Catholic Church next door. They said no, so now they're coming to Verona, or coming to Fitchburg instead of pursuing a Verona location. So
gotcha. Well, there you go. We'll follow up on updates on that as that moves along. Let's turn over to the police chief candidates. We've got 4 announced earlier this week, and we've got our candidate. I call it a candidate forum, but a good candidate public open house, if you will, coming up here. Fill us in on the details of what you know.
Yeah, so that will be at 6:30 p.m. On Tuesday, August 3rd, and that will be at the IUPAT Training Center, which is on King James Way, which is I'm pretty sure is a former fire station that the city owned. Not correct? Nope.
No, it's right up the street.
Right up the street. Okay.
I'm here to help you out. It's actually it's a really cool place. So only because I've gotten to be there like 10 times now to make sure this event goes off without a hitch. We're here to help. Yeah, it's right up the street. And they have it's cool because they have a big warehouse area where they train future painters, if you will. But it's got a community room, and apparently a lot of community meetings happen up there, neighborhood community meetings. So it's like the perfect place to have people come out and get together.
Yeah, well, you just saved me from embarrassment, so thank you.
No embarrassment. We're here to help.
But so the 4 finalists that people can meet next week are Lieutenant Scott Kleinfeld, and he is with the City of Madison Police Department. There's retired Chief Alfonso Morales from the City of Milwaukee. Recently, he's been a little bit more embattled. He was ousted by that city's Police and Fire Commission, and they had just settled. The city just provided him a settlement, but he is looking elsewhere for employment. Then you have Chief Tony Rusega from the village of Cross Plains. And I'm really going to butcher this one, but it is the 4th finalist is Vic Siebnick from Salt Lake City, Utah. So those are the 4 finalists. I am assuming they will do something similar to what they did with the administrator candidates a few months back, where they'll have a moderator, they'll ask questions, and then people can do a meet and greet afterwards. So yeah, that'll be happening next week. Police chief is a very important job within the city. So if you can make it, you should make it. So. And
guess what, Kimberly? Because I know how much you love Fact TV. I didn't start off the segment saying you were a super fan because you just love Fact TV. We'll be broadcasting this one live as well. So if you can't make it down to the event in person, you can submit your questions ahead of time, which is cool. But also we'll be broadcasting that right here on the comm channel. So you can tune in, Kimberly, but I hope we'll see you there. I set up a press area exactly for you. So press has to be in this one area.
Just big enough for me. That's it.
You have to have a pass. You have to have a press pass to get into this one. Everybody else in the community, we want to see you in there. Kimberly's got to have that press pass to get in there.
Feels like a amendment violation here, Jeremy.
You're right. I just want to see if you have a press pass. Let's just start with that.
All right, moving on.
Moving on. Mobile home park update. Something that you brought up here in the paper recently. An update there.
Yeah, so this has been kind of a long-standing issue, going back to even like 2017. But so the gist of what is happening now is, so there were 11 trailers in the Country View Mobile Home Park. And for people who don't know, that is right off of Highway MM. Just as you're kind of getting to the southern end of Fitchburg. And so there were 11 trailers in there that were deemed uninhabitable back in April of 2019. And so the city has been trying to get the owners of the mobile home park to remove them. And then in 2020, in December, the city officially put in a raise order, and it's been kind of a legal process since then. So what is now happening is there's a deadline for them to remove all of the trailers of July 1st. That did not happen. So the city asked the court to rule the mobile home park owners in contempt of court. And so what else might happen there is the city might contract with someone, or they approved a contract in there that is kind of like just a boilerplate backup contract, so that if the trailers aren't removed, then the city will have someone to remove them and then charge that back to owners. So yeah, that is kind of what's happening, where the owners have been declared in contempt of court for not getting those removed, and the judge ruled in favor of the city with that situation. So
all right, perfect. We'll check back in on that one as well. Finally, CIP did happen and was approved this past week.
Yeah, so there were 14 amendments, and there were amendments that are about a lot of different things. So a couple of amendments about adding solar panels to well houses, or just different stormwater facility infrastructure as they get built, so that they can reduce their carbon footprint, since those pumping and well facilities make up a quarter of the city's energy usage. There was another one where they split the South Scion Road, or the Scion Road reconstruction, into 2 different parts, just because of the prices of that. And then 2 really big ones, where so the teen center had a timeline established. So in the draft CIP, it was put back to 2030. And that has since been moved up to 2024, 2025, with different steps in between established. So in 2022, they will do a concept study. And then in 2023, they'll do a feasibility and design study. And so then in 2024, 2025, they can decide whether they would like to purchase and renovate a building or build a building new in the Jamestown neighborhood. And so then the hub phase 2 was also discussed. They moved that project up by a year. It had been delayed by 2 years simply because of the delays that phase 1 has seen. So they just moved that back up by 1 year, and then they reestablished the funding model for it. So yeah, that's pretty much it with the CIP. The CIP is important because that is kind of one of the puzzle pieces for the operating budget in the next year. So they know, how what projects people are doing, what borrowing needs to happen, all that kind of good stuff. So seems kind of early to be thinking about 2022, but we are working on that budget for it with the city. So that's what that process is for.
Yeah, in fact, budget stuff coming out here pretty quick. So just like that, at a snap of a finger, we go from our CIP capital improvement plan right on to a budget. So all comes together here. Well, we've got another update in. Kimberly, you've been busy. Appreciate the time. Folks want to find out more or get involved in that newsletter. How can they do that?
Well, the best way to do it is to go to connectfitchburg.com. For right now, we have our newsletter sign up on the right side of the screen if you are using desktop. If you're using mobile, it's a little bit further down, but I don't know where it'll be when we redo our website. But once we redo our website, I'll let you know where that sign up is for you guys. So a lot of different things in kind of moving around in pieces, but what'll always be there is our reporting on Fitchburg. So I know.
I want to see this segment on your website. How can we make that happen, Kimberly?
I can put it in TCMS with an HTML link, and I have put these segments on our website. Absolutely.
Darn right.
Absolutely.
Darn right you have. Kimberly, thank you so very much. It's always fun to catch up with you, and I appreciate your time. We'll catch back up with you. We'll see you next week, Tuesday at the police chief event.
I better see everyone else next week too. Anyone watching?
We'll all be there. We'll all be there and working.
Be there.
Everybody's
really
going to be there.
I'll cry if you're not there.
If I'm not there, I'm probably home with a sick kid. That's all I'm going to say, because that's all that it is there. But thank you so much, Kimberly. Have a great day. We'll talk to you soon.
Sounds good. See you next week.
You bet. Kimberly from Fitchburg Star, he said, check out the website and sign up for that newsletter. Take a quick break. More to come. You're watching Talking Fitchburg.
Type 2 diabetes can have a big impact on your life, but how can it be prevented? Well, the first step is knowing if you have prediabetes, a serious medical condition that puts you at high risk for type 2 diabetes. 1 in 3 American adults has prediabetes, but more than 80% don't know they have it. The good news is, prediabetes can be reversed, and for many people, healthy changes in their daily routine can make a big difference. Take the 1-minute risk test today at doihaveprediabetes.org.
If you love them enough to suck the snot out of their nose at 4 a.m., then surely you'll check nhtsa.gov/the right seat to make sure they're in the right car seat.
Welcome back into Talking Fitchburg, wrapping the show. I want to thank Kimberly from the Fitchburg Star and Adam Dorn from the fire department helping us out today. Those pieces will be put up online there at Facebook and YouTube. Have a great and safe weekend, everybody. We'll see you back here on Monday.